Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into a fascinating and often challenging aspect of Islamic studies: the difficult meanings within hadith. We'll explore what these narrations truly say, looking beyond superficial understandings. Understanding hadith is crucial for grasping Islamic teachings, but it's complex, often leading to varied interpretations and misunderstandings. One primary challenge is linguistic variation. Arabic, like any living language, evolves. Words gain new connotations, making it essential to understand the original context and nuances of the Arabic spoken during the Prophet Muhammad's time. Even seemingly synonymous words can carry distinct meanings, requiring deep scholarly insight and reference to specialized texts and classical dictionaries to grasp their original intent. Another significant hurdle is contextual misinterpretation. A hadith should never be taken out of its historical, social, and cultural backdrop. The circumstances in which a hadith was uttered, the specific audience, and the reasons for its pronouncement are all vital for its intended meaning. Stripping a hadith of its context can lead to drastically different, often incorrect, interpretations. Scholars meticulously study the asbab al-warid, or reasons for the hadith's occurrence. Then there's variations in narration. Hadith were transmitted orally before compilation. Slight differences in wording could arise. Sometimes, narrators conveyed the meaning rather than exact words, preserving the general message but potentially shifting interpretation. Careful textual analysis and comparison across authentic collections are needed for accurate rendition. Authenticity concerns also play a massive role. Not all narrations attributed to the Prophet are equally reliable. Hadith are rigorously categorized based on the strength of their chain of narrators, isnad, and the soundness of their content matan. We have Sahih authentic, Hasan good, and Da'if weak. Fabricated hadith also exist. Relying on weak or fabricated hadith leads to misinterpretations and controversies, making the study of hadith authentication, or ilm al-rijal, indispensable. Furthermore, internal and external contradictions exist. Some hadith may appear to contradict others, scientific knowledge, or, most importantly, Quranic principles. Resolving these demands sophisticated analytical skills and deep understanding of Islamic jurisprudence. Scholars strive to reconcile differences by exploring interpretations, considering abrogation, or understanding that different hadith might apply to different circumstances. Let's look at specific examples. The Prophet's Ascension Miraj is documented in various hadith accounts, while the core event is affirmed. Differing details lead to theological discussions regarding its precise nature and timing. Another example is a hadith describing the sun prostrating beneath God's throne. Taken literally, this seems to contradict modern astronomy. Scholars interpret this metaphorically, as creation's subservience to God, or as an unseen reality. This highlights the need to move beyond purely literal readings when context or scientific understanding suggests otherwise. Some hadith concerning women have also been a source of debate. Certain narrations, interpreted superficially or without considering broader Islamic teachings on gender equality, can be perceived as discriminatory. However, careful contextualization, understanding social norms, and considering overarching principles of justice in Islam often reveal a more nuanced and just interpretation. These hadith must be interpreted in light of the Quran's unequivocal stance on women's dignity and rights. Instances where hadith appear to contradict the Quran also exist. The Quran is the ultimate authority. In such cases, the established scholarly principle is that the Quran takes precedence. Any hadith contradicting a clear Quranic verse must be re-evaluated, reinterpreted, or considered weak or misunderstood. The Quran serves as the final arbiter of truth. Legal hadith, forming much of Islamic jurisprudence, present challenges in tracing their authenticity and understanding their precise application, especially concerning specific historical contexts. Early hadith scholars' meticulous work was paramount in establishing the soundness of these legal traditions. So, how do we approach difficult hadith? Critical analysis is paramount, involving a deep dive into historical context, chain of narration, and content. Each element must be scrutinized for accuracy. Comparison with the Quran is crucial. Hadith must always be interpreted in the light of Quranic teachings. If conflict arises, the Quranic principle takes precedence, acting as the touchstone against which all other interpretations are measured. Consulting scholarly consensus ijma is another vital approach. Established scholars, classical and contemporary, provide invaluable insights. Their work often involves reconciling contradictions and finding underlying meanings. Finally, recognizing human understanding's limitations is essential. Humility is crucial in hadith interpretation, acknowledging that some complexities might remain beyond our full grasp means continuous scholarly effort is always needed. Hadith scholars are indispensable, from historical figures like Muhammad al-Bukhari, who meticulously collected and verified thousands of hadith, to modern scholars. They employ rigorous methodologies to authenticate hadith, ensuring accuracy. In our modern age, technology and increased accessibility bring both opportunities and challenges. More people can access these texts, but it increases misinterpretation risk without proper guidance. Cultural differences can also lead to misunderstandings. If hadith are not interpreted within their proper context, personal biases can influence understanding, underscoring the need for objective study. Navigating hadith interpretation requires patience, critical thinking, and rigorous scholarship. By considering all factors and engaging with knowledgeable scholars, we can gain a deeper, more accurate understanding of Islamic teachings through hadith. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.